It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And all eyes are on the Jaguars' creative quarterback, coming off a nice week throwing the ball with 4 touchdown throws. It's the Jaguars and the Saints, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
The first opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans.
Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win.
So here's the first drive now for the Jags. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
Now, the meeting we had with him this week, that's one of the briefer ones we've ever had, isn't it?
Wasn't too happy after last week.
Not happy, really determined to play a whole lot better, and he really can't play a whole lot worse. He's got to go out and show the team that the goods that he exhibited early are still there. Otherwise, he could lose the confidence that they have in him.
And hoping to get rid of that interception bug. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball is thrown.
They'll go option on second down, right side. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 25-yard line. That was no 3rd and 2, that was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
The Jaguars at 500 now, 4-4 on the year. Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
They'll run with ETN.
He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Jaguars are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game.
4-4, their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
On second down, a run with ETN.
And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They got 5 through the air last play, now 5 on the ground. 1st and 10.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Off play action. Cobb.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play.
The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they get set to start their drive with a 1st and... Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for them, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Second down, here's an option right. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give them the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks run with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a game, hard to argue against calling it.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. Back to throw. Cobb. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
2 things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the 1st down. They chose the latter.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Throwing to start the drive. Cobb. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Draw play, ETN.
He's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he's trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. Sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
2 minutes remaining in the first half, 10-7, our score. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now he dumps this off over the middle, and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, try to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game? That's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
And good yardage there on first down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively. Well, it could have gone for more.
And once more, this play going in the wrong direction. The Saints get to him behind the line again. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Zay Jones, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jags will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing, because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
Their quarterback leading this offense back out. He had the touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll search for another score as they begin here with a 1st and 10.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, and that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the 2nd quarter. Next, we'll head over to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. Patrick Mahomes looking good. 2 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Odell Beckham up near 100 yards receiving with a touchdown as well. We continue on with the check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Jags. And they've had some success on the ground. And with the lead going into the second half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, for the Saints, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They were losers a week ago to the Rams, but they've got the lead right now as they start this drive 1st and 10. Second half starts with a run by Etienne. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Cobb.
He'll get that underneath ETN.
He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll run with ETN.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. Off the play fake. Cobb. He's got him in. Complete. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. They give him a gain of 38. They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook. And that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line of scrimmage, then scrambling back, trying to cover. Couldn't get there in time.
Well scripted. They had the big running play, now the big passing play.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 2nd down, ETN once more.
And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Touchdown, Jaguars! Christian Kirk, a 5-yard touchdown.
And the Jaguars take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook.
He had the touchdown pass on that previous drive, number 25 for him on the year. And he'll look to keep it rolling, 1st down. Now ETN to start the drive.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And they've just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks. And now here's a tackle behind the line.
Being chased out left. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. Decent run, maybe hoping for a little bit more. Does those set up 3rd and manageable?
And every play that's run, if it's blocked perfectly and executed perfectly, it's set up to go for a touchdown, right? But I like the way you described that one. Just get into a 3rd and manageable, nice decision-making, and took care of the football.
Holding, offense.
So a decent gain there on the play, but that all gets wiped out with a penalty.
Well, that's a setback, but all the good play callers, they just move on. They find something else in the playbook. They can attack this defense, and they go right back on the offensive on this play.
He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the third downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the third quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
Touchdown, Jaguars! Travis Etienne, 58 yards. And the Jaguars will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Not only, Charles, did he beat double coverage to make the catch, and then as soon as he did, locked his gaze upfield and made sure to reach the end zone.
Go grab your dictionary, partner, look up determination, and his picture is going to pop right up. How about him getting through multiple defenders, finding his way through coverage, and making sure...
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
They have to like the position that they are in. Fourth quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
And they'll go again with Etienne.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
To throw. Cobb caught by Jones. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Throwing quickly, this is caught by Kirk.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
He was able to get away initially on that play, but ultimately not much space to roam.
Great job there by them containing him because you mentioned he got away initially, and how many times does that end up with a guy taking off for 15 or 20 yards? Here, the support was there, and they made the tackle for a loss.
14 yards that time and a first down on the keeper.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the fourth.
A give, running right, Etienne. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Looking to throw. Cobb.
Screenplay. Here's Etienne. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. It feels pretty condensed. But that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
They'll go option to the short side. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Considering they've seen him have some big gains against him throughout this game, that's got to feel like a measure of revenge as they trap him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
A shotgun snap and a give to ETN.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. And this offense on third down today, they've been outstanding. 7 first downs and 8 tries. This is 3rd and 11. Operating from the gun. Cobb
To Chenault on the slant.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping them from a first down.
Yes. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for the Jags, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit